Well, good morning, everybody. It's Peter back again. It's the 29th of October and it's 2025, and hope everybody's well. Next little chapter of our journey with cancer, we've come down to London today to meet up with somebody who we respect very highly to talk about what we could do, not from a medical perspective, but whether there's any things we can do with our lifestyle. And I'm with my wife today, Sarah. Anything we can do with our lifestyle to improve our chances and improve our health. So what I'm going to do later today is I'll give you some feedback in terms of how that's gone. But in terms of that, in terms of preparation, one of the things I've been doing, and I'm sure all of you that are suffering as I'm suffering at the moment, have spent a lot of time on the internet and with Google and whatever, trying to do our own research. And I'm no scientist, and I don't profess to be a scientist, but it's been fascinating looking at a lot of TED Talks and a lot of friends. And thank you very much for those friends who have sent me links and links to interviews with people like Dr. Lai and a number of other recognized medical professionals, to really try and start to understand what causes cancer, what feeds cancer, and whether there actually is anything within your lifestyle that actually might actually help fight it off. And it may not, but what it might actually just do is improve your lifestyle. And I think the conclusion that I've drawn, and I'll tell you, hopefully inform a little bit more, and this isn't necessarily, well, I think it is backed by science, but that we all live with millions and millions and millions of cancer cells sitting in our body. Every day of the week, everybody lives with that. It's just so that those cancer cells are asleep and are not active, and at some point something stimulates the growth of those cancer cells. And one of the really interesting things was that, well, in anything that needs to grow, it needs a fuel, and I'd never ever thought about it, never even reflected on it before. And what is that fuel? And that fuel is glucose. It's sugars. And interestingly enough, on the car coming down today, talking to my wife, who actually does have a sports science degree from Birmingham University, something I didn't know, that everything that ends with OSE is a sugar of some form. So lactose is a sugar. Fructose is a sugar, whether they're naturally occurring sugars or processed sugars, but anything with an ose is a sugar. And that's something I've learned today already before we've even started the day. So glucose or sugars, there is absolutely clear scientific evidence that glucose and sugars are a fuel, or probably the prominent fuel that fuels the growth of cancer. So therefore, if you cut off the fuel supply, a bit like not putting petrol in your car or not putting electric in your car these days, you stop the fuel and hopefully stop the progression of the growth. It's clearly not going to stop it completely, but anything we can do might actually help us do that. So that's one thing I've learned through doing a bit of research over the weekend and talking to my wife and talking to other people. Fascinating. And then probably the other thing I've learned so far is, what are probably the key 4 things that you can do to help the fight, other than take account of what your doctors are telling you and your oncologists are telling you, and taking, if it's drugs. But there are 4 key things that need in general life. And the first one is to eat better. That's the first thing, clearly. Secondly is to rest and make sure your body can recuperate. Third thing is be active. And make sure you get some activity, and that's not running marathons or being a triathlete or walking the dogs as we do, or I've started to do again following my operation, which has taken far longer to recover from than I ever thought it would. And the fourth thing is have fun, enjoy yourself, because enjoying yourself, despite the issues we're all going through, actually means it reduces your stress, and stress is a huge killer of people, irrespective of whether you do or you don't have cancer or anything else in that sense. So that's where we're at. So we're in central London at the moment, waiting to go in to have a chat for a couple of hours with this person, and we're going to be talking about diet. We're going to talk about potentially the whole issue of keto diet. We're going to talk about fasting and any other things. And what I'll do later tonight, when we're journeying our way back up north in the car, or certainly when I get home, is I'll click back in and let everybody know how today's gone, whether we've learnt anything or not, whether we're going to take anything on board. I suspect we will, but we're not going to be, suddenly evangelists for stopping things. But there's no doubt from the research that I've done that, some of the healthiest populations in the world historically, people like the Japanese, some people like the Chinese, growth of cancers in that population is going massively, because they found bad foods that we've been used to for years. And if we look at the tribes in Africa who still eat very primitively, and there are still a few of these, the research tells you that the prevalence of cancer with those people is much lower. And also, if you look at wild animals and the incidence of cancer in wild animals, if you contrast that with domestic pets, the incidence of cancer again is much, much lower. So as somebody said to me yesterday, Angela Middleton, MBE, who's a dear friend of ours and been very supportive, we have to sort of not go back to eat like cavemen, but sometimes we probably need to reflect on what we eat clearly, and clean that up. So I'll talk to you later. I hope that's been some interest. One of the things I found is that a lot of these TED Talks and a lot of these scientists being interviewed, it really is very complex and full of gobbledygook, and I'm trying to demystify some of it. So as they say, like and subscribe, and somebody will do all that. I'm not into this techie. And as I've said all along now, on this journey that we're all on together, whether it be us as sufferers or our family who suffer equally, our friends, our colleagues, it's one step at a time. Enjoy your day, and hopefully I'll talk to you all and feedback later. We're in central London and it's absolutely throwing it down. Have a good day, everybody.